localized established 278.
What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR 365. What is going on? It is Thursday. It is October 24th, and it is now 5 p.m. And this is episode 300. 300. That is madness. It is sheer madness that we have already hit 300 episodes of VR 365. Like, dude, don't you remember when it was VR game rankings? Like, I still remember VR game rankings YouTube channel. And then we did this migration, and it was like, oh my God, dude, we're starting over a brand new channel. It's called VR 365. I thought it was going to solve all my AdSense problems. But no, the AdSense problems followed me. They followed me all the way home. And so here we are, 300 episodes. That is madness, especially when you consider that I didn't do any episodes for 16 consecutive days, or like 15 consecutive days. No episodes of VR 365 the first 15 days of October or whatever. Yeah, there was a Let's Play, but that was unrelated. And so here we are. It's episode 300. But you know what? I got to tell you, folks, Palmer Luckey is not about to come on the air. Neither is Jason Rubin. Neither is John Carmack. Neither is the guys from Tested, or I don't know who else. Who could be a guest, a surprise guest for episode 300? So that's not going to happen. In fact, this episode, not really a big deal. Like, normally people be like, oh, it's episode 300. We're going to count down the 300 different ways that VR 365, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we've had 300 different shows, and we're going to go through the best episodes. Now, we're not going to do any of that. We are just going to have basically a normal kind of an episode, like what we used to have back in the days. Let me go ahead and turn down the volume on this trailer a little bit, although it is just kind of chill background music. That, of course, is Aircar. That's actually the Steam VR version of Aircar. Very beautiful, highly recommended, 100% free. This, of course, was on the Oculus Store for the longest time. Now, the one thing you want to be very careful with, if you've never tried Aircar in your life, be very careful about taking your thumbstick and going like this, or like, you don't want to do it. Don't do it, brah. Unless you're MAME fan. I mean, there's a handful of people out there that are absolute veterans when it comes to having VR sea legs. You know, do you have your VR legs? Have you adjusted to the motion sickness reality? And actually, motion sickness, you know, this is something a lot of people were talking about just in the last couple of days with the Grand Theft Auto 5 mod that a lot of people are talking about. It was really kind of the big deal out there, this Grand Theft Auto 5 mod. And a lot of people were talking about just looking at the video of like Nathy, I believe, playing Grand Theft Auto 5. And people are like, oh my God, that is motion sickness on a stick. No way in hell I'm going anywhere near that Grand Theft Auto 5 mod. And what I've seen of the mod is like, yeah, look, I understand how desperate people are to get into the world of Grand Theft Auto 5. I get it. I understand it. It makes a lot of sense. In fact, you know what I remember? I probably told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again, ladies and gentlemen. So you don't really see behind me, but I had, this was like a movie theater room. Like, this is a real place. This is an actual real place. For example, here's a pin. Here's a pin, right? And see that door over there? See, I hit the door. So it's actually real. This is not a green screen. This is not a clever effect of smoke and mirrors. This is actually a real room. It was a 3-car garage that I converted into a home theater / media room in a major kind of a way. And I had a big ass screen. I still have the screen. It's still there. and the screen was 128 inches diagonal. 128 inches, bro. And I had I think it was a 720p actually, a 720p projector. And then later I did get a 1080p projector. And I got out of the projector business, so I'm not messing around with projectors anymore. But when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on like Xbox One or PlayStation or whatever, what system was that on? Was that Xbox 360? Yeah, I think it was Xbox 360 actually. Or I can't even remember. But anyway, when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, it had that first-person mode. And one thing I remember about Grand Theft Auto in first-person mode is what I did was I put it on in first person, and then I walked over to where my big-ass screen is, and I was standing there with my controller in my hand, like standing right in front of the screen. And I was basically like the world was human sized. So it was like if I could step through that screen, I would be in Grand Theft Auto. And I actually played it like that for a little while. Like I stood very close to the screen. I have my controller and I'm just walking around the streets. And I remember how cool of a feeling it was because it was like, oh man, I feel like I'm just on the boulevard and these cars are driving by. And you know how Grand Theft Auto is. There's like a 7-Eleven or something. I mean, not an actual 7-Eleven, but there's like a convenience store and cars are driving by. And the different cars have music playing in the cars. And the music like is really loud and then it fades away. I mean, they do such a great job of the whole atmosphere kind of thing. And the pedestrians just walking around, people just hanging around and milling about. And it was so cool to do that. And so I understand why that is the dream for everybody. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a dream. I know people have done VorpX. I know people have done all kinds of different things. And this mod, the way I understand it is, if you can force yourself to deal with it long enough, you actually become acclimated to the motion sickness that you're probably going to kind of suffer from a little bit. But you know what? See, here's the thing. I don't own Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC. I don't have the PC version. If I had the PC version, I absolutely would experiment and try it out. But I'm not going to buy it and go, no, I'm not. The other thing, too, is like, look, I'm a simpleton. I'm going to be honest with you folks. I mean, I'm a console guy. I came from the console world. I'm not a PC VR gamer. I've been a PC VR gamer at different times, but I'm a PC gamer under duress. Like John Carmack is a iOS user or a Mac user under duress. I mean, I'm a PC gamer under duress. I'm a PC gamer because that's where the best VR is right now. The highest end VR requires a PC at this current point in time. But that's not going to always be the case, and I will bounce in a New York minute. Like, I'm so ready to bounce. I really am. And I know that disappoints a lot of you. Like, probably half of you are like, oh my God, Anthony, you're ruining this idea I had of you. Like, I thought you were like the cool PC gamer, brah. And you're not, brah. You're ruining my entire dream. No, dude, I'm not a PC gamer. I like the simple shit. Although I will say, back in the console days, nothing infuriated me more than turning on my PlayStation 3, and it happened every time. I would turn on my PlayStation 3. Oh, there's a new firmware that you gotta, and it freaking is like a 25-minute process, and by the time it's done doing everything it's doing, it's like, I don't even want to play games anymore. Now I'm doing something else. I'm in another room. So it's like even the console world is effed up. So I'll totally admit that. But why don't we actually get into the show, folks? Actually, wait. Before I do get into the show, why don't we check out chat? Because I did ignore chat in a major way last episode. Don't want to do it this time. We had so much stuff to go through last episode. This one is going to be a little bit more free-flowing. Not as much like major news topics. So this will be a little bit more free-flowing. Okay, let me go ahead and I'm trying to open up my chat here to get it bigger and be able to see everything. Okay, Chris says, Air Car is amazing. I made loops all over the place. You are crazy, bro. There's no way I could do it. I could be having ginger pops in my mouth, all kinds of things. No way I'm doing loop-de-loops, and no way I'm doing manual turning left or right. It breaks my brain in a New York minute. Girillo says, how do I throw it into an uncontrolled spin? Okay, let's see. Paradise Decay says, air car, best way to experience straight up, flip around, and straight down. Okay, maybe so, yeah. Rendered reality, I still want Grand Theft Auto 5 online. Rudel Zavedno. Rudel effing Zavedno. Dude, we're talking about Rudel Zavedno. Dude, first of all, Rudel Zavedno, you should be a goddamn painter or something. That's like a Picasso kind of a name. Rudel Zavedno, like you should be making like fine violins or something. There should be some like fine art that you're creating, Rudel Zavedno, so that everybody around the world says Rudel Zavedno. That is a classic Rudel Zavedno from 1987. Okay, let's see as we continue to go through. Steve Drumheller of Conquer Reality fame, the very famous, the well-known, needs no introduction, Steve Drumheller, says now Sally has to go pick that pin up. Yeah, actually, Sally, get on it. The pin is over there. Although it's all fake, it's mirrors. That was an elaborate trick. It was pretty awesome, but it was an elaborate trick. Okay, we're continuing to look at chat right now. Main Fan says, no one thinks you're the cool PC gamer. Are you sure about that, Main Fan? There may have been someone that watched like 10 minutes of the show. Maybe I was talking about super sampling and they caught the very end of it. And they're like, oh man, this guy's super sampling. He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's the real PC gamer, brah. Yes, person's saying the same thing. No one thought Anthony was the cool PC gamer, brah. Okay, so I guess that was never going to happen. Rudel Zavedno, PC VR is the only way to play VR. Not true. There was Girillo's talking about a magazine called Cool PC Gamer, and I was on the cover. Yeah, buddy. Okay, let's see. Dennis Leao says, so Anthony, I guess you're a big fan of the Quest, considering the ease of use. Yeah, I am. I really am a big fan of the Quest. I love the Quest. And actually, we're going to talk a little bit about the Quest today in a roundabout way, but we should probably actually get into news a little bit here. So let's go ahead and get into some news. Yeah, Jan Red says he loves that name. Rudel Zavedno, a fine wine by Rudel Zavedno. Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to forget about that. Okay, so now, in terms of what we're going to cover today, I will be talking about Borderlands 2 VR. Probably should have downloaded a trailer or a playthrough of that. Did not do it, but hopefully there is some Borderlands 2 trailer somewhere on my hard drive. I'm also going to talk a little bit more about Asgard's Wrath. And we're also going to talk about an explosion, an absolute explosion of release dates. We are now in the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlebots. We are in the fourth quarter. So here's the deal. We're in October, right? It's October 24th. We're getting close to Halloween. Do you have your costumes already ready? You know, speaking of Halloween, let's go on another side tangent for a second. But what I want to do before I go on a side tangent, let me switch this trailer because we don't want to get overwhelmed with the same trailer ad nauseum. So let me switch it up really quick. But yeah, let's talk about Halloween for a second, folks. So, have you ever had the most incredible Halloween costume? Like, have you ever gone all out? It's so funny because every Halloween comes along and I never do diddly. I never do jack squat about Halloween. Like, I always have these ideas that I'm going to have an awesome, this is the year I'm going to have an awesome Halloween costume. Like, I'm really going to have a cool costume, man. And I'm going to go to work with my costume and I'm going to go to Halloween parties and it's just going to be banging, bro. But you know what happens? Every year, I don't do dick. I don't do dick. But you know what I do is like, what I do. What I do is when Halloween is just about over, I always say to myself, next year, by golly, I'm going to start in like August 1st, preparing for an epic Halloween costume that's going to blow everybody out of their minds, right? Never happens. It never happens. But I know there's somebody out there, one of you folks, that is a Halloween mofo extraordinaire with banging ass costumes year upon year. And that's awesome, but I've never been that guy. But anyways, why was I talking about Halloween in the first place? I'm talking about it because it's the fourth quarter, guys. We're in the fourth quarter. This is when it happens. And it's kind of weird because if you look back on the history of video games, and ultimately we are in the video game world. I consider this video games, like I'm a video gamer, okay? And so we're in this video game world, right? And traditionally, if you looked at and in the entire year of games that come out, January through December, all year long, right? Well, if you take a 60-day window, that is the last half of October, all of November, the first half of December, like that 60-day window, like 90% of all the biggest games of the entire year would come within this tiny little 60-day window. And it all made sense back in the days of Toys R Us. Back when you were a little kid and you would go to, like, it all made sense back then because we all had a Super Nintendo, right? We all had a Super Nintendo, and you would cry to your mom, and you got your Christmas gifts or Hanukkah or whatever it was. You got your gifts and you got so many per year, and all the big games would come out then because they knew that's when everybody's Christmas list was. That's when they got gift cards. You got your Jeffrey dollars, right, for Toys R Us. I probably still have Jeffrey dollars, by the way, and of course they're worthless at this point. They were worthless before, but anyways, but that's why all the games would come out. Now, the thing is, we're in a completely different world now, but traditions die hard. And if you try hard, then you die hard. That's from a Kanye West song, by the way. But traditions die hard. And so we're getting inundated with a gang of releases. And I wonder, are all these releases a good idea? Because you know what? I don't know about y'all, but I'm playing Asgard's Wrath on a almost daily basis. I got Stormland that's coming around the corner, then she comes. You got Stormland right around the corner. You've got Pistol Whip on November 7th. Pistol Whip, brah. And then other games sprinkled in. But you know what? It is an avalanche of games. And I was warning you guys about this months ago, that we've got an avalanche on our hands because so many games have been perpetually delayed, but eventually they're going to get off their ass and they're going to release, and there's going to be too many games, and who's going to buy all these games? So we're going to talk about that. Okay, so what do we want to start with first? I want to start with the most interesting topic first, and this is actually a thread that was on the PlayStation VR subreddit. That was a number of days ago, but I thought this was interesting. Now I have to find it. Damn it. Hold on a second, folks. Let's see where. Oh, here it is. Okay, I found it. Okay, so yeah, this was 3 days ago. The Big Milla. So let's go ahead and switch over to Webinal.com. Okay, there we are, Webinal.com. And I know you guys didn't just see that for a second where my video screen was leaking into where the Webinal belongs. You definitely didn't see that. There's no way. There's no way you saw that. Okay, so here we are. This is a PlayStation VR subreddit. I thought this was an interesting topic because you know what, folks? This is a major issue in the world of VR gaming, and we're going to have to solve this issue. This is a real problem. So here's what this guy's talking about. The Big Milla. He says future VR needs to have ability to use a second headset like a Player 2, even if it's just to spectate. And so this guy says being able to have someone you know in the world you are exploring in VR just makes the experience even cooler. Basically, what this guy's talking about is you have a buddy come over. Like, we've all had this happen back in the days. Like, I used to be a Madden guy. I would play John Madden all the time, or NBA 2K or something like that, right? I used to play a lot of sports games, and a good buddy would come over, you know, and we would sit on the sofa, and we'd have a big TV, and he'd have a controller in his hand, I'd have a controller in my hand, and we're playing Madden, you know, and we're in the same work, you know, we're sitting on the same sofa, we're enjoying the same game. Well, this has to be repeatable in VR, or VR's never going to take off unless we can solve all of the situations that we've taken for granted all our lives. And so there's going to need to be local co-op in the same effing play space. This needs to happen. Don't you guys remember? I was talking about this way before the Oculus Quest launched. And I was like, we were getting ready for the Oculus Quest launch, and we were like getting information about the Oculus Quest and stuff. And one of the big questions I had, and I was like, we need to start this show already, man. We already need to go down this road already. People thought I was crazy because they're like, what's the odds of getting two quests in the same effing room at the same time? Like, VR ain't that mainstream yet, Anthony. Like, what are you tripping on? But I like this future idea, and I thought, well, look, I had a Nintendo 3DS. I had a regular Nintendo DS. I had a Game Boy Advance. And I know these little devices, like, they could wirelessly communicate with the other little device. Like, it happens, right? These devices communicate with each other through, I don't know, some type of Bluetooth or whatever, some type of wireless signal. They talk to each other. You could have Mario Kart on your DS, and the other person didn't even have to own Mario Kart. You could, like, download a track. You could play with them. You could play head-to-head. And so I thought, well, dude, why can't these Oculus Quest, like, I didn't think it'd be a big problem, honestly. And I thought, why couldn't these Oculus Quests wirelessly communicate with each other where it knows, okay, here's your Guardian play space for this room. And so your buddy has an Oculus Quest. It knows that your Oculus Quest is here. It knows that there's already a Guardian set up. It shares your Guardian, and it, because of the headset and the controllers, you see like an avatar of your buddy. Like, dude, like, is this so hard? Should this be so hard? But that's what this guy's talking about. And he's saying future VR needs to have this. Okay, this guy's now, OGG Vortis, says, the problem you have there, though, is that you'd either need to render different visuals for each player, effectively have, this is talking more about just speculating or spectating, like just seeing what they're doing. We're going to be able to spectate, but the way you're going to be able to spectate is with like a tablet. Okay, so we're going to get what you're talking about, like in terms of spectating, we're going to be able to do that. Probably we can already do that kind of now, not really, but like it's coming, like it's already been, like they did that with, what do you call it? Dead and Buried at Oculus Connect 5, right? Where like you could hold a tablet and somebody could walk around and they're like, oh, here's the game world. I'm seeing what they're doing with the tablet. Like, that's great. I'm talking co-op. Like, dude, we're in the same effing environment. You know, put your back up to my back. Remember that EA game with the guns where the two dudes were Army of Two or whatever? And it's like, yeah, the broest bro game ever. You know, two dudes with guns back to back just shooting everything. Like, that should really happen. And I'm telling you straight up, if this doesn't happen by Quest 2, we got problems, ladies and gentlemen, or at least Quest 3. This shit needs to happen. Everything that we can do with regular gaming, it has to be done in VR, or VR ain't going to work. Am I crazy here? But anyway, I like this topic. I thought it was interesting. Let's see what some people are talking about over here. Deli Wolfensparger. Deli the MFer Wolfensparger. I don't remember Deli last time when we had episode 299. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to check chat. Let's see what some folks are talking about. Rudel's Avedno cosplay. Jan Red is talking about that. Okay, let's see. Main Fan says, I did Halloween costumes when oh yeah, Main Fan, I have some of those pictures too. I'm not going to put them on here right now, but Main Fan basically dressed as Arnold Schwarzenegger for Predator, and it was he did a great job of it. Like, he really looked like Arnie. So Main Fan is that guy that went above and beyond the Call of Duty back when he was single. Gee, what does that mean? There was motivation. There was real live motivation for Main Fan to like jump through the hoops. Okay, Deli Wolfensparger, you should go as a character from Asgard's Wrath. Yeah, because they're so iconic. Yeah, we know specific Asgard Wrathian characters. Everybody knows them and recognizes them well. No, they don't. They see a chick with red hair and they think, oh, that's Horizon Zero Dawn on PlayStation 4, right? Okay, Paradise Decay says, I wear a cool horror t-shirt every year with a moving eye. People love it when they see it. Okay, so we're on the Halloween topic, and we're talking about Anthony wanting to be a cool PC gamer, but struggling in a major way. Okay, so Hussein X, let's see what this guy has to say, because there's a couple. Oh, Kanye also said he is bigger than Walmart. That's F. Frank. No, but I did like that one Kanye song where he says, when you try hard, you die hard. Because he's basically saying, look, if you're trying too hard, you're doing it wrong. You got to just have a flow and just a natural capabilities, baby. You got to have it. Okay, Hussein X says, I think VR365 has one of the highest percentage of live viewers versus subscribers ratio. Yeah, it probably is crazy high because our subscribers are crazy low. Yeah, so yeah, we do have probably one of the, yeah, you know, some YouTube algorithm should like dial in on the fact that we've got crazy numbers of live viewers compared to, you know, per capita with our subscribers, and then I should just be pumped to the front of the line and millions of subscribers should follow, right? Okay, he says, basically VR365 is a hidden gem VR entertainment show a few of us have discovered. Yeah, I've said it before, man. Dude, VR365, VR gaming's best kept secret. I've said it before. Yeah, I have. Let's see. Rendered Reality says, gonna be Stormland for me. Can't wait for that game. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're still talking to Halloween. I wanted to get to the part. Let me scroll down. Okay, here we go. Now we're talking about the two headset thing. People are probably going to say, bro, you're out of your mind. Okay, Hussein X says you're going to need 2 GPUs and 1 PC to play together with another person. No. Hussein X, think out the box, bro. Like out of the box that you buy at Walmart that contains everything. This is why the Quest is ideal. The Quest 2, Quest 3, Quest 4. This is our future, ladies. The future's standalone. You know that, right? You really know that. You know the future's standalone. You're not like... You're not confusing yourself and thinking that there really is a high-end PC VR future. No, the future's standalone. Standalone is going to get better and better and better, and it eventually will get good enough where even the graphic horrors will begrudgingly deal with it because they'll be able to play co-op. You know why? Because each person is getting their own freaking rendering in their own goddamn headset. The two headsets are going to communicate with each other, sharing the live maps, which are going to happen. Live maps, spatial mapping, prime time, folks. And speaking of that, this is a little bit of a side topic, but speaking of that, guess what? I'm going to have an episode on Twitch this Sunday that is going to be, why is Anthony a cheap ass? Why is Anthony a cheapo? Why does he judge games that are like $19.99 different than $29.99? Why is Anthony so cheap? That's going to be a topic of a show that is going to start at 11:30 Pacific time this Sunday on Twitch exclusive. And then the next Sunday, I might have a guy that is working for a company that's doing some AR. They're doing spatial mapping. But he doesn't want Facebook and Google and Microsoft to dominate the world. It's a third-party company. They're doing some spatial mapping. And I might have an interview with this guy. And I think it's going to be a real interesting topic because I think it's one of the biggest things that's going on behind the scenes that not a lot of people are paying attention to. But I think it really is major game changer. The whole live map, spatial mapping, that will allow all of this to happen. In fact, you know what? Since we're speaking of that, we can pivot for a second. Let's pivot like somebody in the paint might pivot. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do here. So I'm not remembering where the hell I am. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so I did see this story. Now, did you guys see this story? Microsoft Dreamwalker experiment takes first steps into always-on world-scale VR. Well, this is kind of what I'm talking about here. Do you guys remember this scene? Like one of the things they mentioned, and I believe there was a story about this that was on Upload VR as well. And I might even do a Google search here. Let me do a quick Google search because there was a scene in Ready Player One, right? If I can do this right. Okay, Ready Player One Halo. Okay, so there was a scene in Ready Player One. Okay, see these guys running? You guys have seen the guy, like the Halo players running, right? But then they superimpose. Okay, here, this is the picture. Yeah, there it is. That's what I'm looking for right here. This picture right here, or this GIF or whatever. And of course I effed it all up. But there it is. See, these guys are running in real life, like outside in a real street, and they're in Halo at the same time. Now, a lot of people, when they saw that in like Ready Player One, they're like, there's no effing way, man. This is never going to happen in our entire lives. It's impossible. How could you do it? There's cars, there's trees, there's things moving everywhere, bro. This is simply not possible. Well, no, it is possible, and it is coming to a future near you. Now, it's probably 20 years away, but still, we can get excited about it anyway. But that's kind of what this Dreamwalker thing is all about, is there is this idea that eventually we will have basically, that's kind of what live maps is all about. Live maps is eventually going to get so advanced that it's going to be able to recognize cars, bushes, dogs, cats, like through machine learning, neural networks. You're going to add a scoop of blockchain. You're going to add a scoop of machine learning, some neural networks, and then 5G. And you're going to mix it all around in a pot. And it's going to do some amazing things. It's going to be able to analyze cats, dogs, skateboards, bicyclists, cars have to do this, right? Like self-driving cars are going to have to learn all this shit. NVIDIA's already making the chips, bro. You don't have NVIDIA stock? What are you doing? They're already making the chips. Of course, Samsung is making chips. Why don't we slide into that? So yeah, there is this news story here. Samsung is actually busy beavers, folks. Samsung is busy beavers because basically they're making chips for Facebook's AR glasses, and they're also making their own AR glasses. Like, how does that work? Did you guys see there was a patent design that came out not too long ago that was spotted where Samsung is working on their own AR glasses? Do not sleep on Samsung. I've warned this a million times. We've always talked about, wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be lovely if there was a legitimate Pepsi to Oculus's Coke? And I said, HTC, it was handed on an effing it was handed on a silver platter for them. They were handed the ability to be RC Cola on a silver platter, and they accepted it, and they drank that RC Cola can, and they just tossed it away, and it was that bad karma that ruined everything for them. No, but they had an opportunity. They were like HTC Vive was like a household name. Like non-gamers knew what HTC Vive meant, and we thought maybe HTC could be that Pepsi to Oculus's Coke. But it didn't happen. But you know who probably will be the Pepsi? And maybe they're the Coke. Maybe Oculus is the Pepsi. Samsung, baby. Samsung ain't going down without a fight. Samsung, look, okay, they ditched Gear VR. Gear VR is obviously, it's dead and done. And of course, the Google Daydream died as well. So you're talking about compounding interest in terms of of phone-based VR is dead as a doornail. But Samsung is still working VR and AR. Remember, we had that report not too long ago that Samsung was going to introduce another product before this year was done. We're running out of days, we're running out of months, but here's what Samsung is doing. They're double dipping. They're working on their own AR glasses, but at the same time, they're going to sell a tracking chip for Facebook's upcoming AR glasses. Yeah, of course, we saw that big giant black background. Bosworth was on stage. Bo Jackson nowhere to be found, but Bosworth was on stage and it said, Facebook is making AR glasses. Why did they put that on the screen there? So you could deal with it. So you could get it into your thick skull now, and then 2 years from now when they introduce that shit, it won't come as such a shock. You'll know Facebook is making AR glasses. Well, Samsung is going to supply them with a chip that is going to help with the tracking. Now, see, the thing about the tracking, one of the things that Oculus found out in some of their research and testing, where is it here? They basically said that they're going to need like a 50-to-1 improvement. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. In August, a Facebook blog post suggested that tracking on AR glasses would need to be 50 times more power efficient compared to the Oculus Quest. Why? Why does it need to be 50 times more power efficient? Because Facebook is not going to sell some bulbous ass glasses. It's not going to be some giant HoloLens wraparound Meta 2 kind of a deal. These are going to be sleek glasses. Facebook wants to be Apple so effing bad. They're going to try to make them sleek. They're going to try to make them fashionable. And they got to be small. It can't consume a lot of power. It's not going to be huge. It's not going to have a huge battery. So they've got to improve that. There's got to be power efficiency. And that's where this extra chip comes in, because a specially designed chip that is just going to handle the in-sight tracking could use a tiny little smidgen of the power that would normally be used. Now, there is a downside to this. I read this whole entire article, and I did sleep at a Holiday Inn just last night. And what I can tell you folks about this is, here's the downside. Now, if you have a chip, a specific chip, that is handling the tracking duties, the downside of that is that you've got to have your tracking finalized before you ever before it even goes through the factory. You've got to have it locked down, because that's the chip you're using. You're not using just the regular, it's not a software-based solution. It is a hardware-based solution. You've got to have your tracking software, algorithm, whatever, that's going to be using that chip, it's got to be dialed in. So you're constrained by that. Where we're seeing with a lot of these other setups, tracking can improve over time because the software, because it's software based, using chips that are like multi-purpose, the tracking can be improved. So that is one of the downsides. But yeah, this is interesting. And there was a story, by the way. We're going to switch back over here to this story here. I mean, not this story, but to this trailer. There was a story. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Samsung AR patent, because yeah, that was in the news as well. Samsung is working on, here it is. And this is Engadget. We only go with the best, folks. Nothing but the best. Spare no expense. Okay, Samsung patent application showcases AR headset design. Yes, Samsung double dipping. They're selling the chips for other AR headsets, and then meanwhile, they are building their own kick-ass AR headset. And so here's the design, and you can see, look, it's not a giant bulbous kind of a thing. Doesn't look all that obnoxious. And so these are the patent designs. You can see there is a large cable that is coming out the right side of it, and we're not sure if that's going to be tethered to like higher end Samsung phones. But you know, all this stuff is happening in the background, folks. It's going to get a lot more interesting in the coming years, like over the next couple of years. We know Apple's doing some things. I know you guys don't care about AR, but it's going to get interesting. It's going to be quite unique. Okay, so anyway, why don't we go into a different topic? Let me see here. What do I have in terms of stories? Actually, you know what? I probably should talk about Borderlands before we get too far. Okay, so let's talk Borderlands. Okay, let me grab a Borderlands trailer here. And we'll get ready to roll. Whoops, I need to get into a different folder. Borderlands. Okay, Borderlands 2 VR announcement trailer. Let's throw this puppy on the screen. This might have been PlayStation VR, I'm not sure. But anyway, so Borderlands, of course, it was dated for October 22nd. Now, what we didn't know about Borderlands, we didn't know how much were they going to charge. And so it's funny because I forget where I was. I think I might have been on the Discord server. Borderlands 2 VR Steam. I think I was on the Discord server, and a number of people were debating back and forth on how much is Borderlands 2 VR gonna cost on PC VR, and somebody's like, it's probably be $29.99, maybe $39.99. I'm like, no, dude, it's gonna be straight up $49.99. You think 2K Games is playing around? Hell no. They will juice the living crap out of people. So yeah, it is gonna be $49.99. Okay, so Borderlands 2 launched, all hell broke loose because basically anybody that didn't have an Oculus Rift, CV1, or a Rift S, boned.com. Basically everybody out there was boned. Then eventually like Revive had kind of a workaround, and so you can play it in Revive on these different headsets. I don't know if the experience is so great. I haven't tried that yet. I have played Borderlands 2 VR. I did pay money for this. Technically, now this is something I'm going to be talking about on my Twitch episode this Sunday. Why am I a cheap ass gamer? Why am I such a cheap ass? Like, why am I so effing cheap? Don't you want to know the answer to that? Well, tune in 11:30 Pacific time on Twitch. My Twitch channel will come back to life with a short little episode that is designed around a very specific topic, but there could be other things that pop on that show as well. So that's coming this Sunday. But why am I such a cheap ass? Well, anyway, I did buy Borderlands 2 VR in a roundabout way. Yeah, so VR Roundtable, as you well know, we have a Steam account. And we got super chats, and we got money from super chats. And so we buy a game and it goes into our Steam account. And a number of people use that Steam account, including yours truly. And so I did play Borderlands 2 VR. Now, that's another topic. And I do want to talk about this on Sunday. Like, what is the reality of that? Like, is it even okay to talk? Is that okay to talk about? But we'll get into that Sunday. We don't want to worry about that right now. But yes, I've played Borderlands 2 VR on my Oculus Rift CV1, and just to go into that in terms of how it played and how it felt, everything felt great. It looked good. It worked great. Clarity is job one. Again, I don't know if anybody saw my little scraper let's play that I did about the Valve Index, and god damn it, I'm telling you, scraper in the Valve Index, crystal clear. But you want to talk about clarity being job one? That is Borderlands 2 VR, because on my Oculus Rift CV1, I'm playing the game, I'm looking around, and everything is clean and crisp. Now, did I see a lot of screen door? Hell the F yes. I saw a lot of screen door, and that of course is CV1 factor. Eventually we're going to get to the day where screen door is a distant memory, but it isn't a distant memory right now. But I still like the clarity, I still like the focus, and I still love 360 degree tracking. I played Borderlands 2 VR on PlayStation VR. I played a lot of it with the aim controller, which is actually pretty damn cool. And again, it brings up the topic, Oculus, Valve, where is the PC VR version of the aim controller? And don't, for the love of God, I don't know why my eye is like tweaking out of me and I can't see out of my right eye a little bit. But I don't know why people, like every time I bring this up, the PC platform needs an aim controller. We need Oculus to create an aim controller. We need Valve to create an aim controller. Not a third party, No, not a third party, not ProTube, not any of these other companies, not Mad Cats. We need a platform holder to create an aim-like controller, because I do miss that. That was a cool feature of the PlayStation VR version. And so now I don't have an aim controller, but I do have 360-degree tracking. So I didn't have to worry about always being in the cone of vision for PlayStation VR, and the clarity was there. Of course, everybody else was crying bloody murder because they couldn't play the game, and basically Gearbox was like, get bit, bro. We ain't tripping. You bought it on the wrong headset. What are you doing? I mean, it was kind of crazy what happened for a couple of days here. I don't know. Have they even finally fixed this yet? Has it been fixed? But let's go to the webinar. Let's check the Steam page for it, because it was really bad in the very beginning. Let's see what it is now. So we're switching over here, and look what we see, folks. It is now mixed. It was like very negative. It was really bad. Somebody actually had a screenshot. I think it was on the Oculus subreddit, where it was a whole bunch of reviews and it was all red, 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 red. Not recommended, not recommended, not recommended. Just all over the place. People going batshit insane. And then, of course, there is the price, $50. And I got to ask myself, if I was just a regular Tom, Dick, and Harry kind of a gamer, if I never had any super chats from VR Roundtable, if I was never sharing a Steam account, and I don't know if that's legal or kosher, we'll be talking about that on Sunday, folks, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time on Twitch. So if I was just a regular dude, would I pay 50 buckaroonies for Borderlands 2 VR? Hell no. Hell no would I pay 50 bucks for this. I'm sorry. It's actually a pretty cool game. It's a fun game. I never even played Borderlands 2 when it originally came out. I played Borderlands 1. Did I finish Borderlands 1? Hell no. Hell no, I didn't finish Borderlands 1. Didn't even finish that. Never played Borderlands 2, so to experience it in VR makes a lot of sense for me. 50 bones? No dice, though. No dice. If I was a regular Joe Schmo kind of a gamer, I'll tell you what I would be doing right now. I would be playing the shiznit out of Asgard's Wrath. Basically every day, Asgard's, and when I needed a change of pace, I would go to the pile of shame, which is stacked to the ceiling. I mean, my pile of shame is so freaking high. And I know it's high for you guys as well, because we all collect the same games. There's a freaking Steam sale or an Oculus sale or a Humble Indie bundle or a Gamer's Gate or a whatever. There's sales everywhere. The same effing games, VR games, go on sale over and over and over again. So all of us have like 100 games that we're sitting on, a pile of shame. So I would play Asgard's, I'd play my pile of shame. Then, Pistol Whip, November 7th, bam, 20 bones for that. And then Asgard's Wrath, Stormland on the 14th. I'm good, bro. I'm good all the way up until like sometime in mid-December. And then I might get the itch for another game. So no, I would not pay 50 bones for this. Now you'd have to be, here's the problem. You'd have to be like a Borderlands nut job to want to pay 50 bones for this. But then if you're a Borderlands nut job, you've already played the shit out of this on flat. And is it really that much better to play it in VR? Probably not. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I would go for this, but yeah, a lot of people were crying bloody murder. A note for Valve Index users. Let's read this, folks. Let's read the note for Valve Index users. Hi, everyone. It has come to our attention that the Valve Index was briefly listed as a supported headset on Borderlands 2 VR's product page. Unfortunately, a mistake. The index is not supported at this time, and Borderlands 2 VR's metadata has been corrected. Ah, that sucks. So I guess we're never going to get proper... Dude, and what's going on with the Valve Index, by the way? Gaben, whatever happened to your freaking... to your pull in the industry in general? Why are no developers kowtowing to the powerful and great Valve, the almighty Valve? Like, people aren't even making their shit compatible with the Valve Index? Like, what is up with this? Don't they know that if you are a hardcore VR gamer if you're a hardcore VR gamer, chances are you either own an Index or you thought long and very hard about it and you might be considering buying one for this Christmas holiday season, or you might be looking to upgrade to the Valve Index, and all these games are coming out that don't use it, or the controls are like janked. First of all, again, Gaben, I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Can you hire one person that all they do is jump into games like these and they create controller bindings for the Valve Index controllers so that if somebody is able to play this, it freaking halfway works? Like, is that so hard? A single employee, one employee, just to like figure out the most popular games of all time that are in VR and maybe make the controller mappings a little bit better. Like, is that a shocker of a shocker? It shouldn't be. Okay, now I've been away from chat for a lengthy period of time. Let's return to chat. Let's go back to chat, going back to Cali. Okay, so yeah, I know I'm all over the map today. This is probably one of the crazier shows ever. Let's see, scrolling down here. All right, so let's see. Chris Richardson says, already did the nasty and pre-ordered Stormland for my silly digital swag. Okay, but you know, pre-ordering a game like Stormland, it's understandable because that is a game you're gonna buy anyway. I mean, everybody, you know, it's funny. VR Game Rankings, the website, we actually like made the news kind of slightly a little bit. Like, we got a little bit of attention this weekend. I don't know if you guys saw it because I updated the top 100 PC VR top 100 most wanted upcoming PC VR games. Updated that and I posted it on a couple of the little forums or subreddits. Some other people posted it on some other subreddits. And a lot of people noticed it. And one guy was commenting on the rankings because Stormland was number 1, Medal of Honor was number 2, Lone Echo 2 was number 3, and Boneworks was number 4. And this guy was like, what? Boneworks ain't number 1? What the hell is Stormland? I've never heard of it. Like, who the F hasn't heard of Stormland? Like, there's literally, I mean, this person must just be really trying to pull our leg or something. There's no way you cannot know what Stormland is. How do you know about Boneworks, but you don't know about Stormland? That is not logical. I don't believe it. Okay, so looking at chat, let's see here. Chris Richardson says, oh wait, I'm scrolling down. Okay, we're trying to get back. Deli Wolfensparger says 50 buccarinis. Yeah, buddy, that's how much it is. Oculus exclusive on Steam Store. Hussein X joking about Borderlands 2 VR. Chris Richardson says, Oculus isn't into making freaking spare interfaces. They pawn that off to VR Cover. So an aim controller isn't going to happen anytime soon at VR 365. Well, I know an aim controller isn't going to happen because that's the best name possible. That's another rant that I have where it's like, they've already been ruined. Like, Oculus cannot make an aim controller because what other name is there? That is the perfect name. It is such a perfect name in this anti-gun world. It's not a gun. It's not a shooter. It's not a blaster. It's not a zapper. It's a device that you aim at things. You aim at things. It is the aim controller. It is exclusively for aiming. That is such a great name. I mean, Sony, you killed it. You absolutely killed it with that name, aim controller. Not that it's a great name, but in the freaking politically correct world we're living in, it is the perfect name. Absolutely perfect. And there's only one of those. I mean, I thought about it. Zapper, blaster, murder, simulator, murder, death, kill, murder. Like, I don't know what they can do. What can you name an aim controller? It's not going to work. Okay, Joe Schmo and Sally Walmart. That is Paradise Decay. Okay, let's see. JP says, Anthony, you should check out what the Valve Index is doing with their pass-through cam on AR. Just Google Valve Index pass-through camera AR and watch some vids. Their cam is pretty sharp. You know, I have a freaking Valve Index and I still haven't tried that yet. Paradise Decay says, who's waiting for the ass on a stick? Yeah, ass on a stick. Tyler from Rendered Reality says, have you played Holoception yet? No, not the final release. I have not played the final release yet. I played Holoception like maybe 3 weeks ago, and they had refined some things. And I'll tell you what, when I played Holoception 3 weeks ago, I was like, man, these fools have really like made this a real nice package with the menus, like the UI, like everything was freaking dialed in. Like I was like, damn, these fools really did a great job. So no, I'm not negative on Holoception at all. I really like Holoception. In fact, we should check out what the price is with that in a minute here. Del Wolfensparker, a Borderlands nut job. Hell yeah. If you aren't a Borderlands nut job, then what are you doing? Okay, Hussein X says, no shame in piling VR games. VR devs can do with your support, but lots of shame piling pancakes. Okay, Paradise Decay says, Gearbox does not like money. They don't like the Valve Index money, apparently. Mainfan says they like the money they'd have to spend to add Index support. Deli Wolfensparger says, Lord Gaben, hire me. I'll do it. I'll be your controller binder guy. I'll do it, folks. And then Del Wolfensparger says, at VR365, I think Anthony had a strong triple shot latte before the show. Yeah, it's all about that. It's all about the Adderall, guys. It's all about the Adderall. Fluke Rogi says, if Sony wanted to be honest, they'd have called it the Drift. Oh, shit. Fluke in the building. Fluke, you done killed it with that. The Drift. Oh, man. The Driftinator. That is a good one, Fluke. Oculus Scope. Dave B. Back-to-back killings. First, Fluke killing it with the Drift, and then I enhanced it with Driftinator. But dude, Dave B, the Oculus Scope, the Power Scope, brah. The Oculus Scope, that's actually pretty decent. The Zuckerberg, the Zuckinator. The Zuckinator, yeah, that's a good one too. Okay, new price of $19.99 for Holoception. Victor Del Maestro is saying, hey, what is up? What is up, bro? Nice to have you in the building. So yeah, where were we? I got lost now. Oh, let's go back over to the webinar. So yeah, so here it is, Borderlands 2 VR. We're talking about mixed reviews. I haven't really checked in and seen what's going on. Can a regular HTC Vive person just play this game now? Like, has that problem been fixed? I'm assuming it is. But anyway, why don't we look at new releases? So let's go to game, let's go to virtual reality, and let's just look here. What are the new releases? Ninja Legends has an archery update. See, this is the, dude, developers do this because it's like, oh, bonus time. Yeah, archery update. We're going to get back in the news. Everybody's going to buy us again. It's going to be awesome. That's what Ninja Legends is trying to do. Okay, Holoception, 20 buckaroonies. Say it with me, folks. 20 buckaroonies. Okay, we got 6 user reviews. It is out today. Holoception, a new type of hybrid VR game. 20 bucks. It is in early access. It is out there right now. Now, do I recommend it for 20 bucks? You know, I'd have to play more of the final version to really know about it. You know, they should have a little demo of this. This is the type of game, like I know that developers, like you say, oh, there should be demos. We need more demos. But this is a really perfect candidate for a demo. From the standpoint that this is like this third person thing. You're like a puppet master. You're controlling this like 3D avatar, this third person avatar. Now you can get really close and you could play like Gears of War style where you're like right over the shoulder and it's damn near first person. But it's kind of a third person game and it's a little bit different. For a lot of us hardcore VR nuts, we want everything to be first person, boots on the ground, yada, 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 right? And so a lot of people aren't even going to, like I know people that because this is third person, they're not going to touch it with a 20-foot pole. But if there was a demo, they'd probably try the demo. And then if they tried the demo, I think they'd probably see the brilliance in it and they might be a lot more interested. But yeah, Holoception, I liked what I played with it. I can't really comment on the $20 thing there. But one of the things that we did want to talk about, folks, we wanted to talk about all the different release dates that are out there. And I got to tell you, there are a gang of them. Okay, so we can start off with Budget Cuts 2. Budget Cuts 2, Mission Insolvency. It's got a release date. Now, this is the first game that I know of, the first big banger that is locked down territory in the month of December. Remember what I said? The back half of October, all of November, and the front half of December is when 90% of the releases come out. At least that's the way it was back in the days. It's a little bit different now, but still, a lot of games are doing that. And Budget Cuts has kind of locked in on that first half of December part. They're right there, December 12th. Also, remember, fast travel games is a big part of this deal. And so I don't know how this is going to play. I don't know how this is going to feel. I know people have tried this out at some of the trade shows that have happened. I don't know, maybe EGX, some people tried this out, or I forget where it was. But there's people that have tried this. They've played a little bit of this recently. In fact, I think Gamertag VR played a little bit of this. Maybe it was at EGX. But people have played this. And, fast travel games, let's not sleep on fast travel games. These are a high quality developer. They're working with Neat Corporation to bring this baby to fruition. Now, the original Budget Cuts was a major downer because we were waiting for years and our hype level got out of control. The game finally came out. It was actually a pretty long, meaty stealth game that actually works out pretty damn well. It does. There was definite performance problems and it wasn't the smoothest thing in the world, but the original Budget Cuts is a pretty good game. It just didn't live up to the hype and it took forever and a day. But now they got Fast Travel Games working with them. And so it's going to be interesting, who's the real developer of this game? Is it really Fast Travel? Does Neat Corporation hardly have much to do with this game? I don't know. I don't know what the inside story is here, but it's very interesting. But let's go ahead and click on Fast Travel Games because you want to talk about some busy beavers. These guys got another game that is in the news in terms of release date, and that is The Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets. This is coming on November 14th, and it's coming to pretty much all the platforms out there. I believe this is going to be on Quest. I think it's on PlayStation VR. It's pretty much on all the headsets. So this is coming on November 14th. And I think the price is $15, but don't quote me on that. But the whole idea with this game is that you're going to have these this little miniature world that is going to happen right in front of you. And I'm a fan of this. This is something that VR does better than basically anything else. VR does this really good. This is why real-time strategy games like Tabletop Gods, Final Assault, Brass Tactics, Squishies. This is why Squishies work so good. And dude, Squishies is coming to PC VR. How freaking incredible is that? Squishies! Yes, Squishies is coming to PC VR. And I'll tell you what, I don't want to overwhelm The Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets and talk about Squishies, but dude, Squishies on PlayStation VR was so effing good, but you know what held it back? Do you know what put it in handcuffs like a mofo? The freaking Kona Vision, man. The single camera, the Kona Vision handcuffed the shit out of Squishies and Brain Seed Factory. They've been let out of jail, ladies and gentlemen, and now we're going to have 360 degree tracking, perfect motion controls. Squishies is going to be off the chain link fence. But basically what I'm trying to say here is any of these games where you have a detailed world, you can bring the world closer to you. You can move it away. You can zoom in. You can look at all the little details, all the things that are going on in the world. It's kind of like AR. You got these little holograms that are happening in front of you. All these little details. Think of all the different games that we've played in VR where you've got this little miniature detailed world that is unraveling and you're doing all these different little things with it. So this could be kind of cool. This could be kind of interesting and decent. That is The Curious Tale of Stolen Pets. bets that is one of the games that got release dates. Let's go back to virtual reality games, and let's just look at upcoming, because I'm telling you, there are so many freaking release dates. Okay, so Ryko's Fragments, this is dated for October 28th. This has a release date. Pagan Peak, October 30th, that is coming out. Journey for Elysium is coming out on Halloween. This is a game some people are kind of excited about. It's kind of got this mysterious thing going on. You know, you're journeying down the river Styx. It's kind of like that journey into hell. You know, you're in between being alive, being dead. Mantis Games is a developer. The publisher is Kronos Interactive. That is coming out on Halloween, July 31st. So lots of release dates, but there's even more. Let's see, what else do we got? You know, this game Survived is kind of trippy looking. I saw this. This is coming out on Halloween as well. But some of the environments look kind of cool. Like, I'm looking at some of this, I'm like, oh, this actually doesn't look too bad. But I don't know, it might be kind of garbage. I've never heard of Onion Studio. But we got a lot of release dates that are happening. Spooky Night 2, I believe November 2nd. Yeah, that is coming on November 2nd. We've got a serious cornucopia of games that are coming. Into the Radius just got a release date. In fact, this was just announced today. Now, it's not on here, but here it is, November 6th. Into the Radius is arriving on November 6th. And here's the thing, folks. I played Into the Radius a little bit. Wasn't really feeling it. But I can't judge it because, you know what? I think I played it in the Valve Index. And it's another case of a game that is not really taking great advantage of the Valve Index. And I think I need to try it again in the Rift S. But yeah, that is coming on November 6th. I wanted to like this. I really did. But I haven't seen enough of it to know. Like, you see some of this and you're like, oh, dude, it's Stalker, man. This is straight up Stalker VR. This is awesome. It's like Chernobyl, and it's like weird anomalies, and it's like aliens and shit. Into the Radius, it could be awesome. I was hoping it would be. I tried an early beta version, was not feeling it. It has what I call indie jank. Indie jank-tacular. But, you know, maybe it'll be better. I mean, it was beta. Okay, Abode 2. This is coming on November 7th. And, you know, Overflow, this is a company, they've done a number of games. They did the first game Abode. They did Conductor, which is kind of a fan favorite among hardcore VR players. A lot of people really liked Conductor. They did Star Shelter. These guys have done VR games. And now we've got Abode 2. Like, they have experience. They've got chops. They've worked on this stuff. The graphics look pretty good. It looks kind of like another Escape the Room kind of thing. Now, that's the problem. We've got a million Escape the Room games. I mean, they're coming out of our ears. It used to always be like wave shooters, zombie shooters. You know, we were overwhelmed with certain genres. Now, Escape the Room. God damn it. Too many of these games. They work good in VR, though. Especially give us lots of interactive objects. You make the rooms look good, detailed. You have some quality music. You have some voice work and stuff. But that's Abode. Abode 2. It is coming on November 7th. Okay, I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit here. I'm running out of steam, literally. So anyways, we're going back. Failspace. This has a date. November 7th. Like, everybody. Dude, too many effing games. Like, Failspace, Pistol Whip, Abode 2, all coming on November 7th. Like, there's multiple games coming on multiple days. Like, the day that Stormland comes out, somebody is... There's so many games that have release dates now. It is getting bananas, folks. We're not done. We're not done. Okay, Doctor Who, though. Doctor Who looks pretty good. We're talking November 12th. Maze Theory. This is a legitimate game. This is not a quicko, cheapo, cash-in, movie-based experience that's going to last 15 minutes and you're really going to wish you had your money back. This is legit. This is Maze Theory. They're doing some things. So this originally was supposed to come out in late September. Then we thought maybe it would come out in October. But now we have a locked-in release date. It is November 12th. Dude, November is packing it in. There's so many games in November. It's really getting crowded in November. Doctor Who, and I believe this is coming to the Quest. I think the Quest version of Doctor Who is December, but I think all the other versions are coming on November 12th. Last Labyrinth. Here's another one. November 13th. Last Labyrinth's been dated. I mean, dude, remember I was telling you guys there's going to be an avalanche of games. Well, here it is. It is happening. The avalanche is happening. And in addition to this avalanche that is occurring, folks, there's a lot of other games like Boneworks that you don't know when these other games are coming out. So even with like the avalanche that we know, there's so many others that are going to crowd the scene at the last second. Oh, check this out. Tarzan, brah. Yeah, Tarzan. Stonepunk Studios. The Tarzan trailer. In fact, I grabbed that trailer. Why don't we check that trailer out? Because it'll give me an opportunity to drink a little bit of water. Okay, so let's go ahead and bounce over here to where we do our trailers. And yeah, let's check this out, dude. This is the developer of Primordian, Stonepunk Studios. Still, to this day, I believe Primordian is one of the best demos that you could put anybody in, just to put somebody in the freaking jungle. Like if I had a good buddy that was coming over, they've never seen VR in their entire life, I would put them in the jungle of Primordian, just like when you're first walking through the jungle and the giant snake and the giant bug and then the crazy predator dudes that come running out of the forest to attack you. Straight up, great demo material. But why don't we go ahead and check out the trailer for Tarzan VR? Is this a cash-in? Is this going to be craptacular? Is it just Primordian reskinned with some cell shading and they called it a day? I don't think so, but let's go ahead and check it out. I'm going to pump up the volume here on this Borderlands 2 trailer, and we're going to check out Tarzan VR.
Oh yeah! How you doing?
All right, there it is. So that, of course, is Stonepunk Studios. That is Tarzan. And also, special bonus, folks, Stonepunk Studios is making their very first PlayStation VR game. Yeah, Tarzan, at least in the PlayStation VR subreddit, they're talking about how in some kind of email or something, they found out this is coming to PlayStation VR. So you know what I think actually happened? Seriously, this is quite literally what I think happened. So somebody that is high up in charge of like Edgar Rice Burroughs, like the family of Edgar Rice, whoever owns the property of Tarzan, right? Somehow they were trying VR somewhere. And somebody was like, dude, I want you to try VR, bro. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in this badass game called Primordian where you're in this badass jungle. And so like the guy that owns Edgar Rice Burroughs, whatever, you know, he's in there and he's trying Primordian and he's looking around at this incredible jungle. And he's like, what is the developer that made this game? This jungle is awesome. This would be perfect for a Tarzan VR game. And then it's like Stonepunk Studios. Oh, they're actually a relatively small developer. It's not like a giant 40-man company. It's a small developer that we can probably get to make Tarzan VR. Holy shit, this is perfect. I mean, I think that's what happened. I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but I think that's what did happen. And so Tarzan VR, I think it looks good. Does it look a little similar to Primordian? Sure. I mean, we're talking about a friggin' jungle. So it's another jungle. It's going to look similar to Primordian, but you can obviously see there is a cel-shaded kind of a style, comic book kind of a thing that is going on. I have heard some complaints. Some people have complained that there's only hands, that you don't have like inverse kinematics. I would have liked maybe forearms, to add forearms to it, to feel like you have your, this part of your arm, like your hand and your forearm in there, but not actually go with the full-on inverse kinematics. But yeah, Tarzan VR, I think it looks good. We don't have a date for this, but I believe like maybe first quarter. Like, I don't think this is crazy far away. And I think it's being broken up into like episodes. So it's going to be like this thing that expands over time. Like the first thing is issue 1, and there's going to be issue 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So it's kind of being broken up. Remember, the publisher is the same publisher, like Fun Train. Like if we look at Fun Train as a publisher, I think they did the whole Exorcist thing. So like, how Exorcist was broken into bite-sized chunks? Exorcist Legion, all these different chapters and stuff like that. So they're kind of doing the same thing with Tarzan VR, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks pretty good. But yeah, we don't have a date for that. But yeah, just all kinds of release dates, all kinds of good stuff is popping off. So it's getting pretty exciting. Okay, you know what I haven't done, folks, in the longest effing time? I haven't checked the daily deal on the Oculus store. Why don't we go ahead and do that? It's been a minute. It has been a New York minute. And dude, it's been such a long time. We got double daily deals. Double daily deals. It's damn near a trifecta. The Morrigan. We've had people on our show. We've had people in chat. There's somebody in chat that probably works for freaking the Morrigan or the developer of the Morrigan, because I'm always seeing people talk about the Morrigan in chat. Well, here's your opportunity, bro. 10 bones, 50% off. You've always wanted the Morrigan, man. Well, here it is. You got 5 hours. You got 42 minutes. You can grab the Morrigan. It is legit. Or for your $10, you can go with the Unspoken. It has that Acolytes and all that other stuff. It's funny. Which one do I recommend? Unspoken or the Morrigan? Might surprise you guys. I actually recommend the Morrigan. I'm not a fan of Unspoken. I don't know. It just didn't speak to me. I'm just not an Unspoken guy. I would actually choose the Morrigan, but I'm not in love with the Morrigan. So don't get it twisted on that. And then they have this like huge pack, the Spooktacular Pack, $45. Let's see what you get for this. Mage's Tale, banger. Invisible Hours, banger. Arctica 1, banger. Feral Rights, minor. But this is actually a really good package. I don't know what it has to do with Halloween, though. I don't know what this, what does this have to do with Halloween? Nothing. This has nothing to do with Halloween, but you are getting 3 major bangers. I don't know how much money you're saving. I really wouldn't care. Like for me, Feral Rights is just being thrown in as a bonus. But Arctica 1, dude, Arctica 1, baller status. Like, Arctica 1 is Michael Bay VR. You ever had a gun in VR and you shot it and it was like, pew, 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 and you're like, dude, this gun has no juice. Arctica 1, the guns are like, bam, bam. I mean, you feel like you really got a effing gun in your hand. Invisible Hours, we've talked about that forever. Mage's Tale, I think is pretty awesome. So it's actually a decent little bundle there. But, you know, for the money, I mean, I don't know that that's really a great deal. We can check new releases. It's been so long since we've done any of this. Looking at new releases, do we have any big games that have really come out recently? Well, we've got Hollowception, which of course came out today for 20 bones. And that's pretty much it. Then we go all the way to Until You Fall and Asgard's Wrath. Vader Immortal, of course. And Brood, where you get to shoot little kids. So yeah, those are the new releases. Let's look at coming soon and pre-orders. Like I'm saying, there's a lot of games that are coming soon. Espire 1, we're still waiting for the date on this. I don't know what the deal is with that. That game got waylaid like a mofo. And we can check out Quest really quick too. Let's check out Quest for a quick second here. Let's look at new releases on Quest. And so the Thrill of the Fight. The Thrill of the Fight is available, ladies and gentlemen. It's $10. Maybe this is where you should throw your $10. The Thrill of the Fight. I remember I played this in the early days of the HTC Vive. And you know, this was kind of cool. And it really felt like this is a game you will get some exercise. I mean, here's the thing. Any of these boxing games, you start throwing punches after a while, and it freaking, you know, it uses, like, it starts to get tiring after a while. You start throwing all these punches, especially you're in a fight, you're like blocking, you're like trying to throw punches, and it freaking wears you out. These are good exercise kind of games. Now, it is going to be hard for this game to have a lot of success, though, on the Oculus Quest because it's got Creed. You know, but this is $10. This is $10, so it's 1/3 the price of Creed. So that is Thrill of the Fight. Was this available today? Yeah, October 24th. Okay, the Thrill of the Fight is in the building. Gadgeteer. This is a Main Fan special. Main Fan really liked this on Steam. Main Fan, if you're cool with this developer, Metanaut, you should probably hit him up and see if you can get the Quest version of this game. Look at the ratings. Damn near 5 stars with 28 ratings. I mean, almost all the way solid 5 stars. You know, not a ton of people have rated this, but Main Fan really loved the Steam version of this. And he should try this because then he can make a little video on it on YouTube and talk about it. Because if this is really close, like Main Fan thought this was one of the more underrated games of this year, like a game that was flying way under the radar that a lot of people weren't paying attention to. So Gadgeteer is now on the Quest for $15. Knockout League is on the Quest as well. You know what game is on the Quest that I would really like to try? This game right here, Death Horizon. And so the developer, Dream Dev Studio, I reached out to them, tried to get a code, never heard nothing. Dude, Dream Dev Studio, where are you, bro? I want to try this. It looks good, but I don't want to pay any money for it. Am I bad like that? Yes, I am. But dude, look at that color. I love this type of shit. I love Technicolor. I love it when it's like really lime green and red eyes. Like that shit, like that screenshot right there looks freaking dope. I want to play this, but I don't want to pay any money for it. So please, developer, hook a bro up, but they don't know who I am and they don't like me very much. So I did not get Death Horizon Reloaded. Paradise, have you done a video on this? What's your thoughts? Okay, so he's probably in bed now. King Spray Graffiti is out. Dreadalls is another game I'd like to try on the Quest. White Door Games, I believe, is developer. I haven't reached out to them, but I wonder how much the graphics suffered on this. Although, I mean, the type of game it is, you're kind of in these hallways and stuff. I thought Dreadhalls is actually pretty cool. I kind of like Dreadhalls. So that's some stuff that has been going on with the Quest. Let's take a look at the upcoming games. See The Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets. I told you it was coming down to damn near every platform under the sun. Audica is still coming to the Quest. Am I hyped for that? Hell yes. I haven't played Audica in a long time, actually. Asgard's and all these other games coming. Audica's been kicked to the curb just because I feel like I got to play all these other games. Last Labyrinth is coming to the Quest as well. Echo VR, still expected sometime this year. Pistol Whip, of course, November 7th. Everybody that was ranting and raving about Pistol Whip at Oculus Connect 6, they played it on a Quest. That's where they played it, and they were ranting and raving about it. So Pistol Whip on Quest should be prime time. Synth Riders is also coming to the Quest, and I think this has actually been dated, but I don't remember what the date is. Like November something, I think. So yeah, that's kind of a little quick breakdown on all the games that are out there on all of these different platforms. We talked about the daily deal. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to mention, folks. One other thing I want to mention. So if we go back to Rift, there's something called Bonfire, right? There's this thing called Bonfire. So let's take a quick look at this. Oh, dude, the price got dropped. Okay, so I was wondering, because Bonfire, it arrived on PlayStation VR, and when it hit PlayStation VR, it was $5. And I was like, wait a minute, I thought for sure this thing was $10. And I was like, wait a minute, it's $5 on PlayStation VR? Well, what is it on like Steam and Oculus and all these other places? And it dropped. So it's $5. So this is the one that features that comedian. You know, it's got the voice of Ali Wong. Yeah, Ali Wong is voiced. Debbie is voiced by Ali Wong. And so, you know, it's not a really long thing. It's a relatively short thing. It's supposed to be pretty cool and interesting, but like people that tried this were like, I don't know, I'm going to pay $10 for it. But now it's $5. So it's basically half what it used to be. So you might want to consider that. All right, well, you know what? My throat is killing me. I got to get out of here. I need some water, and I also need some dinner and all that type of stuff. So that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode. Actually, wait, before I bounce, I will check chat. Let me give one last love to chat before I'm out of here. One last love to chat. And also, I want to remind everybody, as I continue to lose my throat here, I want to remind everybody, I will have an episode this Sunday on Twitch, 11:30 Pacific time, this Sunday on Twitch. I will talk about, why am I such a cheap ass? Why am I so cheap? Like, why wouldn't I buy Bonfire for $9.99? Why am I so much more excited about Bonfire now that it's $5? Why am I such a cheap bastard? Don't you want to know? Well, tune in. And we're going to talk about the pricing of VR and all of that. We're going to talk about the ramifications of price, reviewing games. Should price affect when you review games and stuff like that? Should it be taken into consideration? If you have opinions on this, join our Twitch episode this Sunday, 11:30 a.m. on Twitch. We can talk about that. Oh, by the way, Curlis Hurtado. See, I didn't get into Asgard's Wrath. Are you liking Asgard's Wrath more? Well, you know what? I had a tweet, ladies and gentlebots. Let's go to Twitter, folks. Hold on a second here. Let me go to Twitter real quick, because I tweeted something out which should pretty much tell you guys all you need to know about what I feel about Asgard's Wrath. It's not going to do it for me like that because it wants me to sign into Twitter. Okay, let me just go VR game rankings, Twitter. Then it'll probably be able to pop it up like that. If I was just some unknown person. Here we go. Okay, so let's go back to the webinar. By the way, dude, did you see this? I'm in the news. I'm famous, folks. I'm famous. Pistol Whip, the actual effing game, retweeted the fact that they're ranked number 9 in the top 100 most wanted PC VR games. It did get a little bit of love. They're actually ranked 8th. They're ranked 8th now. You know why? Because Borderlands came out, bro. So they moved up one spot. Now they're ranked 8th. So, yeah, Pistol Whip is in the building. So I had this little one right here. There's 2 types of people in this world. Those that know Asgard's Wrath is the best VR game ever, and those who haven't played it long enough to have that fact hammered into their thick skull. Yeah, so what happened, like the last time I was talking about Asgard's Wrath, I was a little bit like back and forth on Asgard's Wrath, like not really praising it to the high heavens so much. And a big part of that was just everybody has done nothing but like leap I mean, just everybody has just piled so much praise on Asgard's Wrath that just to continue to do that just kind of gets boring. So I kind of went more to the nitpicking side, and I was nitpicking things on our last episode when we did that. Well, I've played more Asgard's Wrath, and I got to tell you, I understand. I understand. It's been beaten into my head. You know, the real game changer is when you get the axe. Like Philly G, he said, when I got the axe, the whole thing changed. And I didn't understand what he was talking about because I've gotten an axe. And I was like, why is the axe? And no, it's when you get the flaming axe. You know, you get the flaming axe, you can throw it, it comes back boomerang style. And then you can also click your trigger button to turn it into a bomb. And then you throw it and it turns it into a bomb. It really does change the whole entire game. And then also, I've just gotten further. Also, I've understood. See, I did a little episode. Let's go to YouTube because I did a little Let's Play. I did a Let's Play of Asgard's Wrath. Let me see if I can find that really quick. Just where I talk about I suck at Asgard's Wrath. So if we go over here, yeah, I did this little Let's Play where I'm talking about how I suck at Asgard's Wrath and like I'm fighting these bad guys and they're just killing me. You know, they're just killing me dead. Like I was having major problems. Like I was blocking all these people's shots and then I was still dying. I'm like, man, this game is just too effing hard. But you know what I did? I actually did lawyer. I cannot talk today. I'm having real problems vocalizing. But basically, I lowered the difficulty to the baby level. But it's better. It really is. It's better. I don't want to suffer so much in all these battles. Like, I'd rather just see more of the Asgard's game rather just suffering in these battles. But I've also learned how the battle works. I know the red, the blue thing, like when you do damage, when you don't do damage, and like getting the axe that you can throw, and just so many things about this game. It's such a deep game. It's got problems. I still say this is the best VR game that currently exists right now. This is the best game that has been built for VR, like a true VR game. Like, I don't think you can rank Fallout 4 and Skyrim because they're not really VR games. You know what I mean? I mean, we can play it in VR, but they're not really VR games. And so I believe this is the best true VR game. There's just so much that this game is doing. There's so many things that this game is doing. And then the collectathon part of it, holy shit. It is like straight up Fred Sanford and Son. Like, I'm collecting every freaking little spicy herb, freaking sea herbs, spicy herbs, sea berries, everything. I'm collecting it. Metal scraps, iron ore. Collectathon, baby. I love collecting shit. And I love it when you collect the shit and it makes a little ding, ding, ding. You know, every time you collect something and you put it in your bag, it makes a little jingle. And then I'm running out of ability to store stuff. So what do? I freaking go to the bar. You know, I go back to Edger's Hall where you have another storage chest. I have that shit filled with scraps, animal skins, all kinds of shit. I've been doing that. So it's a great collectathon. I love it. So I'm really enjoying Asgard's Wrath. It has problems. It has plenty of problems. It is not a perfect game. Not even close. I can nitpick the living crap out of this game. But there's so much more good. There's so much more good that I don't need to worry about the nitpicking. Chris Richardson says, nobody has a clue who the hell Sanford and Son are. Nah, they know. They know who Sanford and Son is. Come on. Or actually, well, anybody over 35 probably knows who Sanford and Son is. It is. It's Sanford and Son VR, man. It's just straight garbage collecting. Like, can I open my own thrift store in Asgard's Wrath? Because I got plenty of scrap metals and shit to sell off to people. I want to open my own thrift store. All right, folks. Well, anyways, this show has gone way too long. I had a really good flow there for a minute. I lost it. And, I had a lot of hype. and I kind of ran out of gas. But you know what? That's going to go ahead and do it for this episode of VR 365. Now, you only get the standard episode like this once a week. And so far, we've done it on Thursday 2 different times. I'm still not 100% convinced that Thursday is the day, but I'm kind of liking Thursday. I wasn't sure, maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I'm kind of liking Thursday. So we might stick with Thursday, every Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, VR 365, like you're used to, but a little bit longer, covering an entire week of news. Not a lot of major news stories. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't hit actually today. We got all kinds of different side rants. We went in all kinds of crazy different directions. So there's actually a lot of news I still haven't covered that I could possibly get to. But guess what? Bonus time, folks. There's a bonus episode of VR 365 that is coming, because here's the thing. I didn't know, what should I do about Twitch? Do I just leave Twitch? What do I do? What do I do with Twitch? So guess what? I'm going to do a bonus show on Twitch on Sunday. Sunday, 11:30 Pacific time. And this particular episode is, why am I such a cheap bastard? And how does that affect the VR thing? And what's the deal with VR game prices and sales? And Borderlands is $50 and Holoception is $20 and other games are $9.99. How does it all work? And how did I become such a cheap bastard? Find out this Sunday, 11:30 Pacific time. And then maybe 2 weeks from today, no promises, but I might have like a CEO type guy from an AR company that is working on spatial mapping. And I truly believe Live Maps, Magic Leap, and AT&T, they're working on this. Google is working on it. Microsoft is working on it. Apple is working on it. It is the mapping of America, folks. The mapping of America. It's the wireframing of planet Earth. Every back alley, every street corner, every little strip mall is going to be wire mapped all around the world. And it is happening. All of these companies are doing it, and they're doing it for a very good reason. Do you remember those Halo guys running through freaking Times Square playing Halo? Well, that's what live mapping can do for you. Think about it. It's going to be able to spot every fire hydrant, every newspaper stand, every telephone pole. So you're not going to run into telephone poles. You're going to be able to sprint high speed right down Times Square and play Halo in VR, completely blind to the world. And every person that's walking by is going to be turned into a zombie in the game, and you're going to be smacking them, and then you're going to get arrested, and then you're going to go to jail. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, folks, got to get out of here. I will see you guys next Thursday, of course, 5 p.m. Pacific time. But if you want to check me out on Twitch, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, see you guys then. Everybody have a good one. It's been a while since I've done this. I got to remember how to stop it. I stop it in YouTube. All right. Take it easy. Later.